So what I thought it might be fun to do is to talk about my scars, because I am scarred head to toe. I'm just taking it hot.
Oh.
So I'm scarred head to toe. And so the thing is, a lot of the scarring happened when I was a kid. And so I've invited my mom here to share some stories if she thinks of them as well. And I can't think of any scar that probably is as evident in my life as the one on my lip, right?
Yes.
And so as I remember it, I was on my bed, I had a bunk bed, and I was on the second one, and I had a white sheet over my head, and a friend, I was about 4.
And Peter Stewart.
Yeah, Peter went, oh, wow, go. So he pulled the sheet. When he did it, he pulled me off the bed, and the sheet had come off in time for me to jump from the second one to the floor. And then I fell forward, and I hit the fan, and the blade ripped my lip open. How many stitches do I have?
Oh, I don't know, Bob.
I had 4 or 5.
I never count stitches.
No?
No.
No, my head's taken a lot of beatings over the years. I also fell at some rocks, I believe in Jacksonport, right? I was probably 10, and I slipped backwards on the rocks, and I banged my head right in the middle. I have a big scar.
Yep.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, there was an old pier, and it was made out of rocks.
Yeah.
And it was by the cemetery in Jacksonport.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the way in.
Yeah, on the way in. I was pretty devastating as a kid to the bikes around me. Obviously, I destroyed many bikes, but I had a lot of bike crashes too, right?
Right.
Do you remember any of those?
You were very reckless the minute you could ride a two-wheeler when you were probably 4, which most kids can't. And you were a very small child. And you were on the cement more than you were on the pavement.
Yeah, I remember slipping on some rocks just outside of the driveway one time. My entire side got just scraped up and scratched up. And of course, Mom's solution to everything is a little bacitracin spray.
Yes.
And maybe some Band-Aids if we had any sitting around.
Right.
And of course, any other harm that you had, which came mostly in the winter in the form of a cold, the solution had to be two aspirin and a Sudafed was the fix for everything.
Yes.
Hey, Bob, what happened? My finger's falling off. 2 aspirin and a Sudafed.
Well, actually, your pharmacist dad.
Yeah?
We took care of most of the medicine things because 3 nights a week I was at work.
That's true. That's true. The good news was I had a nurse as a mom, so anytime I got hurt, I had somebody who had an idea of exactly how tragic and dangerous I was, how dangerous the harm was.
Bob had his first bike, when he was like 4, and it was new. And then he had his next bike, it was new, and he never had a new one after that. They were all used bikes, and by the summer they were trashed, and then we'd start over with another used one.
I went over a lot of ramps.
Bobby Thompson made jump ramps, and it was nuts.
Well, you got to do something with your life.
But there was a baseball field. There was the park.
Well, you guys didn't put me in baseball. I was at the park lots.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. So if we went I was thought about this. If I go from the head down, I could probably do a better job identifying injuries. So we had the head and we had the lip. And then I separated my shoulders snowboarding.
Okay, I was around for that.
This was back in 2001 or so, 2001. And 2002. I separated my shoulder in that, and that's continued to be injured. And I really think that the injury of that came from an injury that I got in wrestling when somebody picked me up and pile drive me into the pile driver like you see in the professional wrestling things. Yeah, right in the mat. And that injured my entire shoulders and neck. And I don't think it was very long after that I injured it in a wrestling match.
Right, and you were the least weight on the team.
Well, I wasn't the smallest guy, but I was a smaller guy.
Who was smaller than you?
I wrestled 155 my senior year. The
lowest
was 98. George Sternad and Jeff Edgar were the tiny ones on the team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you started wrestling in like 6th grade.
Yeah. No, I wrestled in 6th grade.
Because one of the doctors told me, because I was talking to Dr. Miller about this, who's not just a nutrition, but he said, if your son has some sort of attention deficit or whatever, wrestling's great because you learn those combinations and it helps you learn how to think.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons they say that it's good to do martial arts as well.
Absolutely.
You learn some discipline in it.
And thinking patterns.
Yep. I had acute appendicitis once, didn't I?
Yes, and you were in the hospital, but you never had your appendix out.
No, they took me in. I went down. I remember it was the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. I woke up 2 or 3 o'clock. Dad takes me down to the hospital. My white count is off the charts.
Right.
And my white blood cell count was off the charts, which indicated some sort of infection, I guess.
Yes.
But 24 hours later, I was fine.
Yes, and it's not bothered you since.
No, but I mean, there have been other things within that same system, and I don't wonder if that the start of it, for example, I had bad acid reflux for a long time, and then some digestive things.
But that's
And I wonder how
farther down
much.
in the...
Well, yeah, well, everything starts in that same
Yes.
system, and when one system has a problem, then the other one's.
Right, you could have some scar tissue.
I could have some scar tissue. Yep, I have lots of scar tissue on my knees. My knees took it just in general. You know, even out on the bike. I mean, I fell and broke. I remember
You had a hard time staying upright.
stubbing my toe too. I stubbed my toe at high tide one time. That was a pretty big stub too.
Yes. You were always going 100 miles an hour when you should have been going 20.
Who goes 20 miles an hour? That's just crazy.
Other children.
No. They were trying to keep up with me. It was, you know.
Yes. But,
Yeah. And then I don't think there were too many other. I mean, I scrapped up a lot of like I used to tell people, because it's true, my elbows, like this little piece right here of my elbow skin,
It's scar tissue.
this is all just scar tissue here.
Yes.
You can just feel the scar tissue in it. And the same thing on this side. This is just, you know.
Well, Bob,
scar
it wasn't
tissue.
like you started this, you know, maybe you'd sleep in late in the summer, and if it was 10 o'clock when you went outside, you didn't come back in until 11.
I
At
was
night.
up every Saturday at 6 a.m. for New Zoo review on a Saturday morning.
Yes, but you
And
were
it's
out in the street riding your bike and
Yeah.
being
rowdy and riding. Well, you know,
or sneaking into Renwick or whatever.
Renwick was the best bike path and bike riding in all of the neighborhood.
Except when Mary Peterson came and dragged all of you out.
Except, yeah, well, I did it once or twice.
Yes.
You know. Oh, I had this one. Which one was it? It was this hand, or this arm. Wait. This hand I burned with the oven when we were making those shrink plastic things.
Yeah.
I burnt my thumb on that one time. I also cut my thumb on a blade once when I was working in printing. I was trying to do these invites for a cigar crawl, and I was going to cut them, and I cut them on a blade. Big one, had a bunch of stitches in there.
How old were you when that happened? I don't remember that.
Oh, I was after college when I was
Oh,
working
so you're
for the
married.
cigar magazine,
Yeah.
over in Minneapolis. I burned myself a number of times on the big jugs we used to hold the oil in at Nabby's when we used to have to clean
Oh.
the oil. Yeah, every night you were supposed to clean
Nabby's
the oil
is a
out.
restaurant.
Yeah, well, and so I got a couple of scars from that, like right in here, and they actually they look like a cross because you would pick it up like this and dump it, and you'd pick it off the ground like this before you put, you know. So I pick it up like this, I got one like this, and then you went to dump it, and I got one like this, and so now it looks like I have a scar that's a cross on my right hand, on my right arm, from that sort of thing. I have a variety of cuts and scrapes. I've always been clumsy like that. I just kind of barrel through things, and I don't care about
Yes.
the damage I do
Yes,
until
because
it's
you can't slow down.
well over. Yeah. You think of any other scars that I've got that I've missed? No. I think the message is that I was a reckless kid, and I still have tendencies to cause myself a little damage if I'm not paying attention.
Consequences was not a good word for you.
No, I had no sense of any chance that anything fatal could ever happen to me.
Right. One day I looked out the kitchen window over the sink and he was crawling. He was like 3.5, and he was on top of the regular swing set. He was walking across the bar on top.
Who wouldn't walk across the top of the bar on
I
a swing
turned
set?
around and just looked at the wall. I didn't scream or anything because I knew I'd scare him.
Yeah.
How about finding you in the dryer?
Yeah, well, the dryer was one place I could get into.
And we had a really fantastic laundry chute, and it had a
Second
lot
floor
of,
to first floor laundry chute. You could jump down it and you're playing hide and go seek and they found you. They have to tag you. You can't tag you if you go from second floor to first floor really quick.
and it had a lot of holes, so we didn't have in the doors, so we didn't have to worry about anybody suffocating. But if you didn't know he was in there and you opened it to do some laundry,
Yeah.
scared you to death.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I broke my foot. That's what I forgot. I broke my right foot. Yeah, I was visiting, when we had the sailboat, I was at the marina, and I was visiting another boat at the end of the dock. I had a couple of, I think I had a couple of Manhattans, and I wasn't quite paying attention, and they had a stair, probably a 3-foot stair off the boat, so you walk onto their stairs and you can walk down. And I stepped off onto their stairs, and I don't know how I did this. It must have stepped forward, and the whole thing tipped this way, and it came out from underneath me, so I ended up dropping straight down onto the dock, and I caught myself on my foot. Of course, docks are all made of the, hard
Yes.
rock inlays, and yeah, Bob, I broke my foot. And that thing still hurts. Still to this day, if I do something that stresses it, like walking down a ladder,
Yeah,
that little part where it just bends your,
right.
yeah, because that's exactly where it happened.
My goodness.
I'm a mess.
No, you were just a very rambunctious, energized kid.
Yeah.
Energizer buddy.
Yeah.
But at night, if you could get him in his room, then you sleep like normal people.
I was always a good sleeper.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Peace out.